Welcome to the Working Tools podcast. Today we're going to do a little different show. I always thought it would be fun to have some behind the scenes conversation, and so today's show is basically segments from the green room. Lots of great information I didn't want to leave on the cutting room floor, as they say, so hopefully you'll enjoy behind the scenes in the green room, or as we call it, the blue room. Ladies and gentlemen, brethren all, welcome to the Working Tools Podcast, a casual conversation around Freemasonry. First, it's important to note that our opinions and thoughts are our own and do not reflect those of our Grand Lodge or respective craft or concordant bodies. Please connect with us and ask questions, either here on YouTube or on our Facebook page. We'd also appreciate a thumbs up and especially any comments on our videos. Good evening, my worshipful. How are you?
Not bad, brother. How you doing? Good evening.
Very good. Good to see you. One of our hosts, Connor, is his computer said is just trying to do an update, so he'll be here a little late. But so what we do, we have this little bit of a blue room or a green room, we call it, where we kind of chit chat a little bit and get everybody, introduce everybody and that kind of thing. If depending on who brought who and all that. So. Right, worshipful. This is Stephen.
Hey, Stephen, how you doing?
I should say worshipful brother Stephen. Oh, no audio. So Stephen's in British Columbia, Yukon, in the beautiful area of Kelowna.
Oh, okay.
And Okanagan Valley there, one of my favorite parts of Canada.
Is he still mute?
He's it's not so much mute. He's got like 6 different microphones or whatever, to go along with the 14 different sticky notes on the wall. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Their Grandmaster was on a couple weeks ago. I was sick, actually. They were on, and he saw Steve's sticky notes. He goes, "Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that works with sticky notes." He can hear me now. I smile. So we still can't hear you. I think we have to get that thing surgically removed from his ear.
Yeah, that or the volume's down.
Yeah. Well, he's got a super nice microphone setup. Actually, Stephen and Connor were the guys that started the podcast last year, and then I glommed on, and I haven't taken over, but almost, I guess.
Now, is this go on live now, or you guys record it and then put it on live?
We used to do live. They were doing live in the beginning, and YouTube had a feature through Google Hangouts that would allow you to go live in a group setting. And then last fall, September, something like that, August, September, they changed it where the live feature, you could use a single camera, web camera for live, or so if you want to do yourself recording, go live, or if you wanted to set up almost like a mini studio. So you could have they call it injection software or a studio software, OBS. A lot of the gamers and that kind of stuff, they use this. We tried, but I didn't want to have to. I'm a little bit of the geek, one of the geeks of the group, I guess, and I don't want to have to try and be on the show and run the show and all that kind of stuff. And so we scrambled and finally found that we'll just record it. And in the beginning it was an hour-ish show live, and or however 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on however long everybody wanted to talk. And then it was kind of difficult because it was in the middle of the day on Monday, and it was hard, and Steve didn't have a regular job then. Now he does. He's a slave. He's back to being slave driver again. So it actually worked out. But so we went to this recorded format, and it actually has been beneficial for 2 reasons. One, we tried like 6 different video systems, and Zoom seems to be the most beneficial. They have the best features with the gallery view and recording and all that stuff. Right. And now it's ubiquitous. Just everybody's using it now, so it's no problem for anybody to get on. But we're also cheap in that we use the free version, which is only 40 minutes because we're more than 3 people. But it forces us to keep our show at about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. And honestly, that's what I think a lot of YouTubers going to 10, 15 minutes or less on their shows, if you want to call them, unless they're guys that just drone on for 2 hours about nothing.
Like I did, No, I should be able to hear you and speak to you.
We can hear you. Stephen, worship brother Stephen, this is right worship brother Moises Gomez. He is the
Hey, brother. How you doing, brother?
Grand Historian for the Grand Lodge of New Jersey. I guess that's the highest ranked title. Is that probably true?
Yes, right now that's my highest current title for another 2 years.
Hang on, my dog's going nuts.
So Connor and Stephen started it, and then like I said, sometime in June, or I think it was about June or so, June or July maybe. They had posted on one of the Masonic Facebook groups. They said they were looking for a host, and another host to be part of the show. And I had always kind of secretly wanted to be a host, and I thought, and I wanted to do an interview, and I was kind of scrambling to make the time available, and ultimately it ended up, hey, you got a pulse and you can put a full sentence together, you're on.
Well,
little did they know.
The whole objective was to have some diversity in our panel.
Yeah.
Right. And we had to start somewhere. So I knew, and I actually put out, our Grand Lodge has this thing called the EB. It used to be our bulletin that they mailed out with all the mail notices, and now it's an electronic version, and they call it the EB. So I put out a message in that and got the first 2 participants. Actually, Dave Baran was the artist of our logo. He's a brother from Pemberton. He's the guy who actually did this tattoo of the podcast thing here.
Very nice. Now, what's the official title and heading of the name of the? I know it says of your
the Working Tools Podcast.
Okay,
is the full name, the official name. That's the website address, theworkingtoolspodcast.com. And so
it's been a pretty cool. We've been alive a little more than a year now, and the spin-off benefits of this have been great. I mean, Dave's helped a couple of guys down there get podcasts or Zoom things going. And that's been awesome for the education down there, right?
Yeah, I'd like to know, because this way I can let the brethren here know. So when you post it, or you're going to put it up, let me know, and I'll share it with the brethren here in New Jersey and in this part of the country.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Assuming that we do 2 shows tonight, today we just released the Grand Master of British Columbia's segment. I believe it was today, and then next week will be I'm uploading it now actually and editing it. I'm not editing so much, but uploading it. It'd be 2 segments with our Grandmaster, and so then your show would be, your first segment at least would be in 3 weeks from today, and they just kind of go in line as we go.
Yeah.
And then we've got we're working on the Imperial Potentate for Shriners North America right now. Hopefully that I can get that locked in. That'd be really cool.
Well, they just elected the new one, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, normally it would probably be impossible to get someone like that. But in these times when it's difficult to travel and there's a lot of conventions, not a lot of meetings going on, it might be a little easier to get access to him. So we've got a guy that we had on the show last year who was a potentate at my shrine. He's on membership committee and has done a really good job internationally. He's recognized as the regional person for Shrine International here, and he's going to reach out to him for us and see if we can get him. So Connor thought he was going to join us.
Yeah.
I didn't want to start without him necessarily. So since we kind of there he is. Since we kind of chit chat and get to know each other a little bit, we'll probably have to log off and log back in again, Moises, just to let you know.
That's fine. Just send me the link when you log back in.
It's the same link.
Same link? Okay.
Zoom. theworkingtoolspodcast.com.
Honor Massey, live and in person.
There he is.
Apologies for the delay, brethren.
That's
okay.
okay.
How you doing, Connor? Good evening, brother.
Okay, so David, I guess you want to do the intros tonight, or
Yeah,
what?
I can handle that. I
Because
think.
Moises in the background there. So, okay, so let's. As time's going to be tight for me tonight, let's get this thing going. Log off, log back on.
So to give you a quick 30 seconds on what we do. So once we get back on, we can of course. By the way, Brother Connor Massey, this is Right Works Brother Moises Gomez. He's the Grand Historian for the Grand Lodge of New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Yeah.
I know the Grand Master of New York. That's the only person I know from the East Coast.
William Sardone, good man.
The pressure.
So we can get an idea of who you are and what, how did you become a Mason and what do you do in New Jersey as a Mason, and what's kind of it's the fundamental of this show is that it's a general casual conversation about Masonry. So it's in three, the four of us sitting in a lobby or downstairs or sitting out and leaning against our cars talking about Masonry. That's kind of, so who are you and what do you do, and we can get more intense if you want to, but that's the theory behind it.
Oh, that's fine with me. Now, which one do you want to do first? Do you want to do 9/11 first and then side off something else, or?
I was initially thinking that, but we probably should get to know you. Like, these guys don't know you at all. I don't think. I've seen you.
Yeah, let's do you first.
Yeah, I've gotten to know you a little bit through your presentations a couple, 3 times, and
Moses, I have a question I ask all of our visiting Grand Lodge members. Does your Grand Lodge have a pin, coin, or tie?
Yes, they do.
he has his own.
I'm actually wearing the staff shirt now, and this is the coin. This is the logo for the Grand Master. The current Grand Master, who, of course, is being extended until November because of the pandemic. But yeah, we do have New Jersey's known to have everything: cufflinks, ties.
I will have to communicate with you afterwards because I'll get you to send me some of that stuff because I
will send all 3 of you. I'll send you all 3 of you everything: the cufflinks. I'll send you the ties, and I'll send you the.
Nice.
If you want a bow tie or a regular tie, let me know which one you want. But I'll definitely
thank you.
Always go bow tie, man. Yeah. Can't wear a regular tie in a tux.
Well, these aren't clip-ons. These are real. So.
Oh yeah, okay. Got to learn how to actually tie it. Then cool.
Perfect.
I've been doing really well.
Good.
Medical-wise.
Well, you talked about running a marathon, so you must think you're doing good.
It's not a marathon. It's 5K. It's like less. It's less than 4 miles.
Oh yeah, okay.
Sounds like a marathon to me.
But I have run marathons. That's actually something that I've been doing in order to get my health back on track. Because I do like super long. I don't run them, but I've walked a marathon in a day.
Yeah.
It took me 17 hours, but I did it.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk the day after.
I'm gonna have to get you to make me one of those black kilts for before my installation again.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I can do that for you.
With an expandable, retractable waistline.
Yep, don't worry.
Hey,
let me just write this down. Let me write this down. Kilt for Steve Chung, fat-sized.
Yeah.
Hey, would you happen to have an extra minute?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to get that 9/11 pin so I can show it.
Yeah, for sure.
I have it downstairs.
Absolutely.
No,
Take your time.
I can definitely arrange to get a kilt for you. You'll have to pay for it, but
yeah. What's one of those things going to run?
Black kilt, all black, like $400.
Okay. Yeah, I want an all black one.
Yeah, I can do that.
I have one that they say matches my family tartan, but people have a hard time believing it anyway. So I may as well just go black.
You got your collar back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just not in the shadow box yet.
Well, it's in there. It just hasn't been all pinned back together.
Okay.
Right? I've been working for the man lately, and the rats and the pigeons still haven't heard of COVID, so I've been going like 10, 12-hour days, eh?
Well, I'll send you a photo of what I've got around me. I've got the founder of DeMolay Canada's Master Mason certificate.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my RD. I've got one of my Royal Arch certificate or Royal Arch sashes. I've got my 2 Secret Monitor sashes. I've got my Past Master's certificate. I've got my affiliation certificate, my Master Mason certificate, my Past Provincial Master Counselor certificate, and all my Royal Arch certificates.
I was going to say, if you wanted a few more, that all Masonic Week would be something for you to go to. Moises does an amazing job.
I'm in the process of joining Cryptic Rite. And I'm looking at joining. I've been invited to Rosicrucian, and I've been invited to the Allied Masonic degrees.
Wonderful organizations all. So, no, definitely. The Rosicrucians actually just canceled their annual in November.
And
they broke away from us about 3 years ago, and they meet in Louisville, Kentucky now.
If things go according to plan, I should be the supreme ruler of Secret Monitor in 5 years.
Oh, okay. That's a wonderful order.
I love it.
That one and the Royal Ark Marin I really enjoy.
I should already be a Cryptic Rite Mason, because Royal Ark Mariner here in BC is attached to Cryptic Rite.
Okay.
But COVID got in the way of my degrees. But I'm a Royal Archmason. Sorry, Cryptic. Yeah, I should be a Cryptic Rite Mason, but COVID got in the way. But I'm a Royal Archmason, and once I'm done in the East, in a year and a half, or 2 years, I guess, I will be joining Knights Templar. And then once I have sat in the East and all the York Rite bodies, then I will join Scottish Rite.
Scottish Rite's another wonderful organization. I've had the pleasure of working for many years here in New Jersey, doing some wonderful stuff here. So,
are you an honorary 33rd or an active?
No, honorary. I'm not an active member of Supreme Council. Just honorary 33rd.
I know Tom Labaugh, who I believe is an active member.
Tom Labaugh, yes, he's from Pennsylvania. He's a active of Pennsylvania.
Is that the same grand jurisdiction, or is that northern or southern?
It's still northern jurisdiction. It's the every state east of the Mississippi and north of the Ohio River and Mason-Dixon line. So he's from Pennsylvania. He was the head of the Masonic campus and DMLA in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. That's where I know him from.
About a year ago, and he's been a lifelong DMLA. He's a very well-known man in DMLA.
I was the provincial master counselor or state master counselor of BC DMLA, but
well, our Grand Commander is from New Jersey. Is from New Jersey, from my home valley, David Glatley, and he's been a lifelong DMLA all his life, and that's a connection with Tom. Tom was a Jersey Mason, but he moved to Pennsylvania many years ago, and now Dave Glatley made him an active upon becoming Sovereign Grand Commander of the North.
Nice. So the southern jurisdiction would basically be like the Confederate states?
No, it's all 35 states, west, north, your guys, Puerto Rico. There's jurisdiction. I think it's Philippines. There's jurisdiction outside.
Who are the northern states?
The northern states is all the New England states, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire.
Which is the bigger of the two?
Well, in size-wise of jurisdiction, the South is much bigger. But in membership, the North has always had the most. Now they're probably about even. But the North, when I joined 12 years ago, we had about 170,000 Masons, which was a lot more than the South had.
Which is Washington?
But again,
Washington Southern as well, yeah.
Washington Southern. So it kind of goes from Maryland or D.C. down to Florida, and comes up all the way around, back up. So it goes across the South and then back up. So Missouri.
I'll Google a map.
Yeah, Missouri, Iowa. If you look at the Missouri Compromise of 1820, how the North and the South were split, that's how the jurisdiction is the same way. Although it was all started in Charleston in 1801, in 1813, several brethren from the North decided to ask permission if they can break away to create the Northern Masonic jurisdiction. And when the South gave that the permission and chartered that charter, they told them stick to the same boundaries as, that's how they used the boundaries. East of the Mississippi, north of the Ohio River, and the Mason-Dixon line is yours.
The reason why I was asking about if it was the Confederate States is because I just got this book. So
it's close, but remember, this was done beforehand, before the Confederacy. This was 1813, so it was way before the Confederacy, way before the Civil War. The North was created in 1813, and the South, the Mother Supreme Council of the world, the first Scottish Rite Mother Council of the world, was created in 1801.
Okay.
And then from there, even something that we actually did for England and Scotland and other European nations, where we took masonry from them, but that's something that we gave them back.
Yeah, because Scotland has the rose, or England has the rose quad.
No, this is good. This is a good conversation. Actually, I still want to get Al Jorgensen, most worshipful Al Jorgensen, or illustrious. He's an active 33rd member on the Southern jurisdiction.
Well, Moses, do you think you could get us the Sovereign Grand Commander?
I can tell you right now, I will definitely try. I am very close to Dave Glatley. I've worked with him for 12 years together. He is a wonderful individual, and we can
get Northern for
sure. He would
I
definitely do that. I mean, he would definitely, if his time allows, he would definitely do that. So send me some dates, and then I will relay it to him, and then I'll ask him to please join and do that. Matter of fact, he just did a podcast. I'm trying to think of where he did it. Who he did it for? He did it similar to this. I can't remember offhand who he did it for, but it was. They did invite him to do it. I mean, of course, he's always in demand because of his position. I mean, that's a high demand. It's probably the most prestigious position in masonry because you're there for 10 years. So
You're there for 10 years?
Yeah. Yep. You're there for 10 years in the South. You're there
life. It's
unofficially for life.
Yeah. The Supreme Commander, as well as the Grand Commander, as well as each state or each jurisdiction, it's a life appointment.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean,
or as long as they want to be.
Ron Seal just stepped down, and now you got Commander Cole, two wonderful brothers. But they have this slight differences. We call them deputies here. Your deputies are under the SGIG, so your SGIG is the head, but there can only be X amount of them. So there's only 33 active members. So not every state can have one. So some states have a deputy, some states have SGIG. Another person you might consider who would definitely probably do it is Mike Smith, your first lieutenant commander. He's from Virginia. He's just stepped down as Grand Master. In South Carolina, and he's a very, very close and dear friend of mine. And he will definitely do it. He's a great, great speaker.
Okay.
He's now the first lieutenant commander for the Scottish Rite. He's still the SGIG for South Carolina, and he just stepped down as Grand Master of South Carolina as well. And he's from my Mother Valley in the South. Al
was my mentor. He lives down the street from me, and so that I'd like to get Al on. I just haven't done it, and it's my own fault. We actually have been great. It's been great. We've been so busy with great guests that I just haven't pushed it, to get him on.
But Dave, I have an assortment of friends all over the world. Even if you want Mike Kearsley, the past Bristolian lecturer, we speak for each other. He'll do it at a drop of a dime. So any other speakers
Jim Mendoza, Jim's been in our early shows. Jim was a regular guest, Jim Mendoza, and so he has connections, of course, like you, all over the world. And
you say you've got a lot of friends, Moses, but can you get us the Duke of Kent?
That's a tough one. That's a tough cookie to milk. Now the Grandmaster Potent Townley, I have met. I know. I do know the Grandmaster of Ireland. The Grandmaster of Scotland, I've stayed at his home. I've been with him many times. Ramsey McGee, he's another one. He'll definitely do it. I mean, the time differences is a little bit rough, and that's also another issue that may be a problem because these guys are halfway around the world. But
I've met Ramsey McGee, but I doubt he would know.
If you want the Grandmaster of Scotland, I can definitely look into that. I mean, these guys are very close to me. I spoke for him last November. I was there 10 days. I raised money for Prostate Scotland. But yeah, people always get astonished when I tell them that I've only been on 12 years, and they're like, "Really? What do you mean 12 years? You've been on 20 years." I said, "No, I've been on 12 years. That's it." But and like I said, I owe it all to traveling and visiting and meeting other people. I think that's the best way of opening up doors and meeting people. And,
well, I will most certainly have to stay in contact with you after this.
I tell you, I went to speak quickly for Holland in Maastricht, Amsterdam. I mean, in the Netherlands. And I met a group of brothers there from Germany, from all over Europe. It's called a European Masonic meeting. They meet once a year in a particular country. And to make a long story short, one of the brothers there is from the UK. Is a Indian born, but he was raised in the UK. And he has a lot of friends and connections. And he calls me the other day on the phone, and how you doing? He goes, "Listen, the Grand Master and the Grand Lodge of the country of Georgia." Now I'm thinking Georgia and New Jersey here in the United States. I'm like, Georgia? I said, well, why didn't they come to me? I'm a member of Georgia. Everybody knows me in Georgia. I said, why would they go to you to come to me to ask me? And it didn't dawn on me. I'm like, oh, he's talking about the country of Georgia. Until he mentioned the name. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm doing all 3 lectures for them next month. They're doing something similar to what you're doing. And they've asked me to do all 3 lectures. They're relatively new. I think they became official and elected their Grand Master in 2016. So I think like Grand Lodge Lebanon, they're trying to get recognized and get their feet on the ground and get themselves rolling. And I said, listen, if I can help you. And the greatest thing he said to me was, he goes, oh, and by the way, I know we've never met. He goes, but I know you're Team Badger. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, really? He goes, how did you know? He goes, I just followed you on Facebook, and I know you're Team Badger. So he goes, we can't
Team Badger?
Yeah, that's another long story.
Steve and I got to meet the 3 Grandmasters of Bulgaria, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, a lot of the European countries are starting to bloom and blossom, and they're really growing. Croatia, Serbia. I've been to Romania several times. and they take their stuff really, really literally there. I mean, it takes years and prestige to get through. So when you're done, you really feel like you've earned something. I mean, they don't just hand it to you. Like, I mean, sadly, sometimes here in the United States, we rush things and we rush brethren through. And when I told them that I was going to be a 33rd elect, they thought that I could have parted the waters. I mean, they thought it was actual Moses. I mean, it was like, I was like, well, it's a 33rd degree. I mean, okay, but a lot of people get it here, but it's because it's so rare in Scotland. It's you're there for life, and until somebody dies, nobody else gets it. And I'm like, really? That's it? And they were so impressed and amazed. And then at my age, and I'm looking at these men that are just becoming 18th degree, and they're all in their 80s. Wow. And I'm like, man, I'm 50 years old, and I got my 33rd. I'm saying, so to them, it's an impression like, wow, you must have really done something. But in Europe, things take a lot longer time to achieve, and even the Scottish Rite is broken down. The average Mason usually gets the 14th degree, and that's it. Now, you might get the 18th. You get invited to the 30th, the 31st, the 32nd, and each one opens as an individual body, which is unique. And in the 33rd, there's 9 members of the Supreme Council, and they're there for life. And there's barely maybe 75 throughout the whole nation of actual 33rd, so there's not a lot. It's really... And the spots do not, until it's vacant, do you actually, okay, we'll make somebody else now.
Thanks for tuning into the Working Tools Podcast and this fun segment on the Blue Room behind-the-scenes show. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up and hit that notifications bell if you'd like to make sure you receive all the notifications. And, of course, access our audio-only podcasts on Anchor.fm or Apple iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and Spotify. Have a great day.